Hey, welcome to a Gardener's Journey Homestead. Today I'm going to do a tour of the greenhouse so you can see what we have going on. So it's September, early first part of September. As you can see, I've started to plant my fall seeds. You can see all of the seeds here. These are my peppers that are still kind of going strong. And so I'm leaving them in there right now. You can see I got a pepper there. And then over here in these containers are all my sweet potatoes. So I did some sweet potatoes in the bed as well as in containers. And so you can see that here. So here I have a yellow bell pepper, a red bell pepper, and two other red bell peppers here. You can see I got a big one back there that's turning. You can see here I got one that's turning red. We probably can pick this. Yeah, look at it. It's pretty big. We'll go ahead and get that one. Well, I can only do it with one hand, so I'll come back and get that. And then I have some petunias growing. But let me show you what I planted. Start planting for the fall. So that's more low lettuce. And then this right here is butter crunch. So you can see that there. Then over here is my sweet potato bed, and it has gone bananas. So this is one raised bed. It's 4x8, and all of my sweet potatoes are in there. So like I said, I've never grown sweet potatoes before. So I tried some in the raised bed, and then like I said, some over here in containers. And we're going to see which one wins, right? Then over here is my second bed. And so I've started to plant here. So this is some sage because it's a good companion plant to broccoli. And then you can see my broccoli seeds have germinated and they're starting to come up. So that's that row. In this row, we also have broccoli, if I'm not mistaken. I don't see my little marker, but I think that's broccoli as well. And then here I have carrots. So you can see one little germination. Let's see, right in there. So they're slowly coming up. Then over here I have another raised bed. I have some cabbage starts that I planted. Then that row is going to be cabbage. This right here is going to be beets. You can see that I have a few beets already coming up. You can see that there. You can see I have some cabbage seeds that are coming up. So let me tell you, germination is like one of my favorite things. Is to see me put something in the ground and then it starts to pop up. So this bed here is my okra, and it's not producing as fast as it was. So I'm going to give it maybe another week or so. Then I'll probably pull it. You can see I got one big one right there. I'll come back and harvest. But yeah, those are my, this is my okra here. And so, oh yeah, that's a big one. You can see there. So in this bed, I have 6 okra plants. So this was my first time doing okra. So again, a lot of the people in the family don't eat it except me, and my husband decided all of a sudden he eats it now. But anyway, so I didn't do a lot. I just wanted to see if I could grow it. And so everybody says that okra grows a lot. And to me, I didn't feel like they grew a lot. Like I've had 1 or 2 servings off of it, off 6 plants. I don't know if that's normal or not, but that's what we have. So like I said, this is the okra bed. And I'll give it another week or so and see if it's going to like really do something. If not, I'm going to pull it, use the space, and plant more fall stuff. This bed here, I planted some mustard greens. You can see one little tiny one coming up there. In this row, nothing yet. I have spinach that I planted in this row, and then in this row. So I planted renegade spinach there and then Bloomsdale spinach here, but nothing yet in those beds. So basically you can see in the greenhouse, I have a total of 6 raised beds. They're all 4x8. So I have 3 on this side and 3 on that side. So y'all, Now listen, let me tell you this. So a part of this journey is that it's not always pretty, right? So I just got my greenhouse last fall in October. So this is the very first season we're using the greenhouse. So we did enough to get beds in the ground and to get some food in the ground. But you can see it's not aesthetically pretty yet. I like nice things and I like for things to look nice. So the goal, you can see that we already have some black paper down. And the goal is to black paper everything and then put rocks down because I want it to kind of be, I don't know, pretty like a green. That's what I want. So that's what I'm going to do. We just hadn't gotten there yet. So here you can see is where we started to plant in the ground, and we have 5 rows in the ground. So we took the approach and did mounded hills. So we did black paper, but what we did was we built up the dirt into a mound and then put black paper, so you can see that it's kind of mounded up off the ground. So you can see the rest back there are my tomato plants, and this is where I started to plant the fall stuff. So I have squash in this row right here. You can see I have one little squash coming up right there. And then so the rest of this, these are my peppers that's still hanging on. So I'm going to let them do their thing for a little while longer. All of these are my tomato plants. They're on their way out. I'm going to pull all those today and plant more stuff. This is a chili pepper plant. So in the summer, this row here was nothing but peppers. So I had bell peppers, jalapenos. That's a nasturtium right there. And then I had chili peppers. You can see the chili peppers growing here. Let's see if I can get you a good angle. There you go. You can see the chili pepper here is just, they just haven't turned red yet. So you can see I got a cluster growing there. And for that, I'm going to make some chili powder. Here's more okra. I put 2 more okra plants back here. Again, y'all, they didn't do too much. So we'll try it again. And then I was about to pull this one, but y'all, I got 2 eggplants coming. I thought my eggplant was done. Let's see if we can get a good shot. I got 2 eggplants back there. I thought they were done, but they're not. This right here, y'all, look at my tomato plant. The hornworms got it. So that's coming up today. And then I got some cherry tomatoes back here that's still trying to do something. And these are just marigolds. So then on this side, I kept my one sunflower because it makes me happy. And then here, all along this row here, up into the green, I planted more black-eyed peas. And then this whole row right here is collard greens. This right here are red potatoes that are not done yet. So we'll walk up this way. Look at that. How gorgeous is that? That's a zinnia. Flowers in my garden and my greenhouse make me happy. So, and then these are my black-eyed peas growing up the trellis. You can see those. So, yeah. And then here are green beans. So I got to plant some more stuff in this far left row back there. And then for the most part, we'll be almost done with the fall planting. So yeah, guys, that's the greenhouse. And like I said, it's not pretty, but it's productive, right? And so one of the things about gardening, which is why I call this, is that it's a journey. It's not a destination. Here's my dogs. If you hear them, that's them. Anyway, so what I'm saying is the gardening is a journey. It's not a destination, right? You're going to always be learning. You're going to always be growing. And if you have a desire to start gardening, just start, right? Get you a hole, dig a hole, put some seeds in the ground, water it, and let it go, right? Just do it, right? If you have any questions at all, drop them down below. I'm happy to answer your questions with whatever I know. I'm still learning. I'm still growing, but that's the part we're going to grow together, okay? So I'm going to take you also to the raised beds that we have on the other side, on the back of the house, and show you what we have back there. Hey, guys. All right, so now we're in the back of the house, and I'm going to show you the other section, which are my raised beds that are outside my house. And this part is very special to me because this is where my garden started, right? So, like I said, I moved here 2 years ago. We built a house in the country, and my very first time gardening, putting my hands in dirt, was last summer of 2020. And my husband built me 4 raised beds to begin with, and that's what I started out with. And then we added an additional 5th raised bed at the end of the summer for me to plant garlic in. So I'm going to take you through a quick tour of the 5 raised beds that I have behind my house. So it's easy for me to just walk out the door and pick something and go back in and cook it, which is great and a blessing. So I'll show you the 5 raised beds. But first, let me show you my new toy. Okay, so I got a composter last week. Literally, I've had it, I think, maybe 4 days. And so this is the Yimby tumbling composter. I've never composted before, so this is my first time. But you can see this holds 31 gallons of compost. You can see there's a clock on one side to let you know when it's curing, and then a plus sign where you can add. So it has 2 compartments, 2 bins. Basically, you put the stuff in there. You can see all of the different stuff we have in there. And then when it's full, you let it cure, and then you can start using the other side, and you just flip those. But basically it's tumbling because you can just tumble it every time you put something in there or every couple of days. So using this compost is going to prevent you from having to go turn your pile every so often, because it makes it easy. It's contained, and you can just roll it. Just tumble it yourself. So I did this not because I'm trying to be fancy, but just because there's so much to do out here, and my husband has a long list of to-do projects, and him building me something to just hold the compost, it's just it's on the list, but it's further down the list. And so I bought this. It was like $80 just so that I can get started, right? We can always build another compost pile in the yard, but right now we have a lot of things going on the land, and so it just wasn't practical to try to pull him away from some of that other stuff to get me a space to put compost in. And I just didn't want to just put it on the ground. Okay. So again, remember, everything is a journey. Just start somewhere. So this is where I started. So that's the compost bin that we just got. I'll let you guys know how that goes. So this is bed number 1. And so, yeah, I number my beds 1 through 5 from left to right, because it's easy for me to go tell my husband, hey, water bed 3, or hey, go pull the carrots, and it's in bed 4. That's just easy for me. But you can see here, this is where I had my garlic, my very first garlic harvest this past summer. I pulled it in June. And now these are where my fall veggies are. These are all starts that I planted. And so I have some kale and collard greens in this bed, and these were just all starts. Okay, so as we walk over to bed number 2, and you can see here I still have my hoops up from last fall, and I used row covers to try to protect it when the temperatures dropped low. And so we just kept the hoops up because it just makes it easy, right? So in bed 2 is my lettuce and carrots and spinach. So I have 1 lettuce that I did as a start, and you can see it's already flourishing. It's like a salad mix. And then everything else I planted by seed in this bed. So this is butter crunch lettuce, and then this is going to be Merlot lettuce, which is a red lettuce. I've never planted that before. More butter crunch. This row is carrots. You can see I'm getting some germination, which germination is like the love language of a gardener, right? And then there's some spinach over there. So yeah, so like I said, that's my dog, one of my dogs. Okay, so this is bed number 5, final bed. And so this bed right here for the fall, I did starts, and I did broccoli, I did some cauliflower, and a couple of cabbages. So that's what this bed is going to be. And like I said, I did all starts on this, so we'll see how it turns out. And next, we're going to walk to our project, And y'all excuse this mess, but again, I'm gonna show you the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? I'm walking to our root cellar. Y'all, this has been our pet project for the last, it feels like a year. It might have been a year. This is our root cellar. So let me tell you about the root cellar. So the root cellar, again, has been our project. And we built a root cellar because we want to preserve our food. So one thing about gardening is if you do it really well and you have a lot of productivity in your garden, you got to find something to do with all that stuff, right? You got to find something to do with all that stuff because you can only give so much away, right? And when you live in the country with a lot of other people who live in the country, they're growing gardens too, right? And so a lot of times you guys are all growing the same thing. And so you don't necessarily, you can share, but everybody already has it, right? So the thing with the root cellar is we're going to be preserving all of our root vegetables like cabbages, sweet potatoes, onions, garlic, stuff like that that can maintain a long time with a very cool temperature, as well as all of our canning that we do. So that's the purpose of the root cellar. It has been a battle and a march to try to get this thing finished, but I'll take you inside and let you see a little bit of it. So you can see that we're still kind of in construction. All of this is just overgrown weeds. It'll all be cleared up and look pretty by the time it's all said and done, but that's not where we are today, okay? That's not where we are today. So, okay. So here's the inside of the root cellar. You can see it looks just like a root cellar, right? Nothing special, but it is going to be special to me because... So the root cellar is going to be special to me because it's going to free up space for me in my house to preserve my stuff. Right now, I have used every available cabinet space to store all of my canning. I have bulk materials that I've bought in bulk that I've sealed and preserved in Mylar bags that's in my kitchen, stacking high. And so I cannot wait to be able to use this space. Right. It also serves as an underground, as a storm shelter. So we have a storm shelter door. So, we live in not East Tennessee. We live in South Tennessee, Zone 7A. And so tornadoes come. And so if a tornado were to come, we can come in here and, and be safe. So the root cellar is pretty big. It's 24 by 26. So not your typical root cellar. That's usually like an 8 by 8. So we have plenty of space and I can't wait to use it. As soon as it gets done. We're 90% there. So with the root cellar, you see we have a dehumidifier in here. So y'all, this is why it's not done. We had the root cellar done, we thought, and was about to move in when we had a big monsoon of rain for like 2 weeks. And water got in the root cellar, which is, of course, is a no-no. And so we had a break in our concrete. So the concrete's gonna have to be redone. So that is why it is not done yet. So we're waiting for our concrete guy to come and do the concrete. Make sure that's closed. And we'll put dirt back on top of it and pray and hope for the best. And hopefully we'll move in. And trust me, when I move into the root cellar, I will definitely bring you with me. So just again, those are the beds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 5 raised beds outside of my house. My composter there. The root cellar is back over there in that corner there. And then I have 6 raised beds in the greenhouse plus 5 50-foot rows for now. Okay, so I'm back in the greenhouse. So thank you for going on the journey with me. So you saw what we started off with. We started off last year with just 4 raised beds. That was it. Then we added a 5th one. Then we started building the root cellar. Then the greenhouse came. We got it ready. We have 6 raised beds in the greenhouse, and we have 5 50-foot rows. And so the plan is to get into the root cellar before it gets cold. Also to do a garden outside of the greenhouse so that I can plant in the ground like my corn. Like I didn't do corn this summer because I didn't really have a place to put it, and I didn't want to do it in the greenhouse. So more to come, right? But again, I always say this on every video. It is a journey. Don't feel like you're going to arrive at your destination and you have to have all this land and all of this stuff. Just start wherever you are. It is a journey. So thank you guys for going on the journey with me today, and I'll keep you updated as we make progress. Let's grow together.